Hello everyone and welcome to this new video where we are going to see together the most mysterious book in the world and which has never been decoded, namely the manuscript of Voynich. This story begins in 1912 with a collector named Wilfried Voynich. He stumbled upon a mysterious one in an ancient library in Rome. This manuscript seems to be dated from the Middle Ages and it is written in a language that no one would understand and that no one would have been able to decipher until now. Intrigued, Voynich will acquire this manuscript and very quickly he will realize that this manuscript is very strange and that potentially it has incredible importance. This book is unlike any other and would present different figures and drawings that we do not find in any other book. By discovering this, several people will then try to decipher the code and different hypotheses will be made. For some it might just be synthetic writing, while for others it could be an ancient exotic language, but there's a lot more research that's going to be done on it. But despite all this research, they will not be able to decipher the language correctly. And for some, they will admit that it may be a book written by a madman, and that it is not even really possible to decode this book. In total, the book has more than 232 pages written from left to right, with letters and numbers that would resemble ours. But it is not only the writing that is mysterious, the drawings also cannot be deciphered. Over time, many specialists will try to look into it. Try to determine the message that this book is trying to convey. Someone will try to give us a little explanation. The decryption engineer Newbold would have put a system to decrypt part of this language, but quickly, people who will look into how he decrypted the code will explain that in reality, his method does not work at all, and that he would have simply managed to decrypt what he wanted to see. Moreover, most of the descriptions he would manage to obtain thanks to his decryption will not really make sense with the rest of the book, or even with the drawings that are right next to it. But other researchers will try to continue the work of Newbold, and as a result of their research, they are convinced that the book is actually a hoax, and that it was written in order to get people talking about Mr. Voynich, because in reality, there would be no method to decipher the code, or the messages would simply mean nothing. In total, we would have identified more than 400 different drawings in this book. Most would represent plants that would be totally unknown to us at the moment. There is a hypothesis that supposes that it could be a very old herbarium. This herbarium would represent different species of very rare plants and their benefits. But even today, none of these plants have been formally identified. There are many people who have worked on it, and some specialists put forward the hypothesis that it could be a very old book, written by a person who had carried out different experiments or very strange genetic mutations. He would have made his book in order to leave a trace of his experiences. But if you look a little deeper into the book and look inside, in reality, you don't really find just strange plants or writings. There would also be strange drawings of women. They are linked to each other by a very special root or duct system. These representations would be for some a kind of description of the human organism or the organism of another species. It is explaining to us how it works. Today. It has been more than 100 years since the book was rediscovered by Mr. Wilfried Voynich, who gave it his name, the Voynich Manuscript, and despite all the people who continue to work to decipher this book, there is still no real explanation and the language has still not been decoded. For centuries, the mystery of the Voynich manuscript persisted and continued to fuel fantasies about its contents. Perhaps with technological advances, a person will be able to decrypt its contents, but for now, we can only wait for the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to tell me in the comments, and if you have other topics like that you want, I will be in my next videos. If you are interested in moths and legends, you can go see my other episodes. You can like, share and subscribe, but we'll see you in the next video. It's Quickie on SE Ray.